generates miserable games of Magic. I think if you could ever justify unbanning Punishing Fire or Umezawa's Jite on a power level standpoint, they should still just stay banned because they just create bad games of Magic. They create games of Magic where one player just doesn't get to make any meaningful decisions. Howdy, Turkin. I feel like people only look at power level when they talk about bans and unbannings, when like quality of gameplay is definitely something that should be considered. Thanks, Jarvis. Good luck this weekend at the PT. You're going to the PT, I assume, right? You've got some kind of WotC status, I believe. Julius, thank you for the $20 donation. I appreciate that. Here's a donation for my green-red mid-range deck. Oh, yeah, I said this one's fine. Yeah, it looks sweet. Thank you. I'll get that added to the queue tonight after we're done. Not quite a Hearthstone hand, but an easy mulligan here. This hand's pretty good. It needs a threat. I'm going to bottom a 4th land here pretty easy. We get to go turn 1 discard spell. Hoping to see if Yahenni's expertise is good. Varvite, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really, like, I was a pretty big fan of... Are we getting Chalice? Gross. Wait, what? Oh, they suspended Riftbolt. That's much better for us than Chalice. All right, so lead on Inquisition here. Tireless Tracker is an okay pickup. It is a threat for us. You get to go ahead and just snake their Boros Charm here. And the good news is this Thoughtseize is going to gain us a point of health. They don't have any creatures, which is okay for us as well. Morning, Hammy. Blood Moon and Ensnaring Bridge are different, Tempest. Blood Moon is far more obnoxious than Ensnaring Bridge. There are lots of good Magic cards create what could be attributed to negative gameplay experiences, but cards like Umezawa's Jite and Punishing Fire push that negative gameplay experience to a whole nother level, in my opinion. Well, we were in a good spot. Can I draw a push, please? The fact that we don't have any Collective Brutalities in this main deck is a really big deal. Just zero Brutalities main deck probably means this matchup's pretty hard for us. It's really sweet, Milida. Sorry, so Yahenni's is sweet. Like, I often talk about how Modern's a very tempo-based format. So, like, the fact that Yahenni's generates you a lot of tempo is great. It's Bloodbraid-esque in the tempo that it generates, even if it doesn't generate card advantage like tempo does. We do have Obstinate Baloth in our main deck, though, don't we? So maybe this is not as bad as I was thinking. I think so, Be Rich. Like, so Collective Brutality, I feel like, just solves a lot of the problems that these decks have. And that these decks, you often hear people... If you follow Magic content, you'll often hear people refer to the wrong half problem with these interactive decks, and Collective Brutality goes a long way towards solving the wrong half problem because it lets you convert cards you have that aren't useful into an effect that's likely going to be more useful. 4 is a lot. I don't know that it's even wrong, but 4 is definitely a lot. I think I had 3 with I think my list on my site has 3 with a 4th in the board. I forget exactly. It's been a little while since we played green black. Yeah, my list has 3 with a 4th in the board. We're dead. Yep. All right, Brutality's great. Kalitas is fine, not great, but fine. Thoughtseize is kind of mediocre. And what do I want to trim? I need 2 more cuts here. Maybe 2 Kalitas is too many. Hats with the 2-month free subscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I do appreciate it. Thank you. So you need to leave Maelstrom Pulse and Abrupt Decay in this matchup because most of these burn decks are playing Ensnaring Bridge these days. So while Pulse is slow in general, I think you can't cut Decay or Pulse in this matchup because you need outs to Ensnaring Bridge. I don't know, Tracker coming down on 3 is a pretty big deal. I think I'm gonna mulligan this. We don't have any cheap removal, and we take damage from our land. So, like, a real big factor, especially in a deck like this that only has, like, 6 fetch lands in it, is mulliganing when your lands deal damage to you is not unreasonable. This hand's absurd with a couple of land drops. Please Goblin Guide me on one. Please Goblin Guide me on one. Please Goblin Guide me on one. I really kind of like the idea of Courser of Kruphix in this deck. Like, it's good with Tracker. It makes your Tarmogoyf bigger by giving you an enchantment to put in the bin. Like, it really does a lot. Whew. Whew. Oh, lordy. Chat, the good Lord giveth. The good Lord giveth. All right, so let's go ahead and escalate this. Go biggity, bibbity boop. Bibbity bobbity boop. Biggity bobbity boop. Just boop them on the nose. It's a lot of spells. So it is appealing in situations like this to take their 1-mana spells to try and strand them. They're going to draw lands. Take the card that deals the most damage to you. Take the card that deals the most damage to you. Maybe we should have just put 26 lands in this deck. It's very possible. Especially with Courser, it's possible it's just like 26 lands is super correct. It's like more lands makes Courser better. Well, at least we're drawing castable spells. We're 3 life lower and they're 1 Boros Charm lighter. Vexing Devil. Woof. Woof. Come on, land. Come on, land. Ding. Ding. All right. This was almost disastrous, chat. So they have Helix, Spike. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. How do we feel about escalating this brutality? I think I like escalating the brutality this turn. Because the Baloth is going to be 4 life regardless. It also takes them off of white. And I'm gonna bin this Tracker. This game is not about Tracker drawing cards. And now we could kind of get in trouble if they draw like exactly Skullcrack next turn, but I think that's fine. Sure, yeah, I should prioritize basic forest for ooze. That's a good catch. Although I guess I get to kind of bait the Skullcrack with this, right? Good chance this is a concession Baloth. Of course, you're just here to do the Lord's work. 7 dead and 2 here. We know one of their 3 cards is a Lightning Helix that's stuck. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bolt my Quagmire. That's a winning line. Definitely a winning line. If you're ever, like, preparing for a big tournament and you can't figure out what your last sideboard slot should be, never forget, you can never have too many cards for beating Burn. Burn is just the type of deck where you need to see your cards ASAP. All right, unless they draw a bridge, they're dead. You got me. No, I don't think so, DeFizzy. I think expecting to draw a 3rd land is pretty reasonable. Quagmire's okay. You just, like, want some of your lands to attack, basically. Is what it comes down to. And, like, Quagmire is definitely a worse creature land than Treetop Village. But at the same time, it is also, it's a worse creature land than Treetop Village, but at the same time, the fixing is really important. We want to be able to make black and green mana with our cards, I think. Yeah, Quagmire does do a removal spell impersonation on occasion. This hand's, like, not amazing, but I think it's a keep. We've got Inquisition and we've got Baloth. Hopefully we can rip a piece of removal if they have an early creature. Ty Tank, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. If they go, like, Guide into Eidolon, we could be in a little bit of trouble here, but hopefully Inquisition will prevent exactly that line. Village can be a blocker on 3, can't it? I think even if we draw Push here, that's a great card to draw. Just lets us curve out nice and natural here. Yep, take your Boros Charm. This Scavenging Ooze will probably just be like a gain 3, which is fine. I think we're definitely in the market to cast a gain 3 on turn 2. No worries. Congrats and condolences. You beat Caleb in the quarters, right? That was pretty great. The Stifle Birds were quite excellent. The Stifle Birds were quite good. So we're taking 9 here. We're going to go to 10. Okay. They have a Bolt in their hand. We really need to draw another 1 or 2 mana spell next turn. If we draw like a Decay or something to impact the board like a Fatal Push next turn, we're going to be in a very good spot. Boros Charm puts us to 3 here. We need to fade like 2 draw steps. We need to fade a minimum of 1 draw step. We might need to fade 2. So they're at 0 cards. So that's like a Blessing and a Curse. Maybe I'm just supposed to play Treetop this turn anyways. Dead. Nah, this is game 3. That's usually how it comes down. Burn is, you know, we talk about this most of the time. Yep, IHJ's just commented on it, chat. Burn is the best deck in Modern when it draws 3 lands in 4 to 6 turns. Like, it just has so much gas. Doesn't really... Sometimes with Collective Brutality, you can keep up with them, but especially on the draw with, like, the unchecked 1-drop creature, we just, like, didn't have enough going on to keep us in it. This hand's a little bit slow. I would definitely mulligan it on the draw. I think I'm okay to keep it on the play against most decks in this format, so I'm going to do that. I think it's fine on the play. I think there's enough kind of mid-range and control decks in the format. I mean, even against like a combo deck, like Liliana's pretty okay. Gaze is a nice flexible card. It's an enchantment and artifact sweeper against decks like Lantern and Bogles, while also being like a pseudo sweeper against creature-based decks like humans. It's more expensive than something like Damnation, but it also gives you a little bit of control over what it does too. Engineered Explosives is pretty mediocre in decks that can't... Engineered Explosives is mediocre in decks that can't make 3 colors of mana, in my opinion, so Gaze of Granite's a little bit more flexible. Basic Island cantrip in Modern is largely Storm these days. Largely Storm. Alright, Liliana's okay here. Storm is a critical mass deck to a degree. Yeah, definitely getting Liliana going. We're nowhere near pressuring them out of the game enough to, like, just put more creatures into play, so I definitely just want to start chewing up their hand. This is not my decklist random login name. This is a viewer-submitted decklist. If you want my iteration of Green Black Rock, you want to find it on my website, jeffhoagland.com/decklist. Thoughtseize is an A+ draw here. So I'm actually going to plus Liliana first, and this is an old trick that's worth doing. So basically, by plussing Liliana first, we make it so my opponent has to make their first discard, not knowing they're getting Thoughtseized. Unfortunately, the way our lands have sequenced out this game, I am going to have to not get a clue from my tracker this turn, but I think that's fine. It's going to be Ritual Gifts. Mardu's a very good deck. What do I take here? I think I just bin the creatures. And then I can take the gifts I'm given. I think I just bin the creatures here. Why do I die if I leave them the Noxious Revival? This is the Thoughtseize, chat. This is their hand. The gifts pile is resolved already. This is their hand. Yeah, I think I take Gifts Ungiven here, and then I'm gonna play this other Field of Ruin. I'm just gonna pass to them. And then if they want a Noxious Revival, I just shuffle their deck. I'm just gonna pass here. So now they have Manamorphose, so they get to guaranteed gifts. Is double Stone Raining them going to be good enough? I don't know that it is. So I should definitely field them during their upkeep, right? Oh, they're messing up. They shouldn't do this now. Yeah, they shouldn't have done. Their timing here was bad. They should have just passed to their turn and try and draw the gifts. This is a no justice stream, so I'm sure they're about to draw gifts anyways and kill us. No, they definitely have basic lands. I'm not trying to take them off lands. I just shuffling your deck with Field of Ruin is not optional, so I just want to make them shuffle. I mean, our hand was pretty slow this game, right? So, like, the fact that, like, we've been in this game at all is, like, really a testament to, like, how good Liliana the Veil is in a matchup like this. And just, like, wearing them down. That's a pretty good draw. How do we, like, just, like, putting islands versus reefs here? Am I here to double Stone Rain? I think I'm in for a double Stone Rain with Abrupt Decay left in my hand. I feel like double Stone Rain is good enough, like with the Abrupt Decay. And I think because I have the spot removal now, I'm just supposed to do this. Yeah, like all of their combos from low resources involve a mana creature or lots of land. So like this keeps them off of a mana creature, this keeps them off of lots of land. Huzzah! Let's put Abs and Entrenchers back in the queue. I'll have an updated list. Can you fill out the form under the stream they call me, Jeremy, for me? Please and thank you. Yeah, I think Storm tends to be an okay matchup for this archetype. Deal. I'm gonna crack this because if I draw a Liliana, I'd rather Edict this than Abrupt Decay, I think. Yeah, Ooze is a great draw. These two cards just like, they pull this deck together so nicely. They get you out of so many bad spots. I didn't put a Shivan Reef with the islands because I wanted to cut them off of lands that could make... I wanted to cut them off of cards that allowed them to make mana without taking damage. Alright, so let's cut some of these more expensive cards. I think I like trimming a couple of Fatal Pushes in this matchup. Oh, I get Damping Spheres. Damping Spheres at our board, too. We have too many cards for the Storm matchup, actually, believe it or not. Oh, is Tron a bad matchup for this deck? The list that I have on my website has Fulminator Mage in the sideboard as well, in addition to Damping Sphere and Field of Runes. I actually think it's pretty okay. I like to cut Push instead of Decay because some of these decks have Pyromancer's Ascension in the sideboard. And that's a card that you want to be able to take off the table. I feel like I don't have room for these Nihil Spellbombs, and this is part of the reason I don't have any graveyard hate in the sideboard of my configuration of green-black outside of like a Kalitas, and I think like you just have too many stuffs. I'm doing well, Bulletproof Pope. Maybe I just don't like cutting that many ways to kill their creatures. I guess this is 10, so I could cut 1. Is Surgical not good here? I don't know. I feel like if Surgical's not good here, it shouldn't be in our deck. I don't know. I feel like I really don't want either of those cards. Sand doesn't have a discard spell, but I think it's plenty reasonable. Like, again, like, people are talking about cutting trackers. You need to actually kill your opponent, chat. You can't sink Surgical a single card to guarantee victory. Just sometimes, some small subset of games, they go off with their graveyard. Did I submit 61? I definitely submitted 61. Sure, like, Surgical is definitely good against Grishelbrand. I will give you that. But I don't think Grishelbrand's a bad matchup for a deck like this. At least not in my experience playing it. I feel like people get so caught up in, like, the feel-bads of how bad it feels to lose to some of these decks that they overboard for it. Like I said, I think this board as constructed, we definitely have too many cards that could possibly come in this matchup. Yeah, I want to kill them, Puddle Jumper. Given enough time, the Storm deck is going to beat you through any amount of disruption. You need to actually put a clock into play. All right, so do I Tracker land or do I Brutality? Remember, I can't play 2/2 drops this turn because Damping Sphere is symmetrical. Of course, if I Brutality here, there's also a non-zero chance they might kill the sphere in response, which is not terrible. I guess I'm gonna Brutality. So their hand doesn't really accomplish anything, huh? I'm gonna take their Serum Visions. I'm gonna play this land in case we draw another one next turn so I can go 2-drop, 2-drop next turn. Yeah, Bending a Goyf to Escalate's probably good. The Damping Sphere is going to make it so I can't double spell these turns anyways, so it's like whatever. Sphere does stack, and this means they need to have Echoing Truth now. Alright, we should mostly be a lock from here. Yeah, Shattering Spree would get both. That is also true. So they're dead on board. Waffle Gate, thanks for the host. Welcome to folks coming over from there, hanging out, playing some Modern today. Is the Baral as a chump blocker? Whatever they cast costs 2 more here because there's 2 Damping Spheres. Like I said, I think this matchup's pretty good for black-green. This deck's pretty competitive overall. I think it's got pretty decent matchups against the field. If you're looking for a fair deck to play in Modern and like Mardu Pyromancer or the Blue Red Wizards deck don't quite strike your fancy, I think this is a great choice. This archetype in general. Shocking to 5. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Okay, so they must have something to interact with this Treetop Village, right? That's what this says. This is probably the best Liliana deck. I don't really consider Mardu Pyromancer a Liliana deck because a lot of iterations cut her. Yeah, if I would have drained with Brutality, they'd be dead right now. Because the Goyf also would have gotten in a couple extra hits as well. Yeah, so like they're starting their turn here with like 2 Damping Spheres in play. So they need like Echoing Truth. Alright, that puts us to 1-1. Let's see if we can rattle off a couple more here. While we're waiting for the third match in this league to pop, I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out today. Happy Tuesday, folks. Hope you're having a great day wherever you're in the world. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer, memer, content producer here on Twitch. I focus on Magic. I'm here 30+ hours a week. We play a ton of Modern. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do this because I love it, but my subscribers are the people that keep me here full-time. I wouldn't be able to do this as often as I do without their wonderful support. Past that, you can support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com. I'd love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. Honey is a free browser add-on that when you install it using link bit.ly/HoogleHoney, you'll be supporting my content here at absolutely no cost to yourself. What Honey does is, when you're shopping online, it takes a look at the stuff in your shopping cart and searches automatically for coupon codes for you that you might have missed. If it can save you some money, it offers to do so. And if it can't save you money, it leaves you completely alone. Lisa would like to get you on your way to a better night's sleep. Christy and I have been sleeping with Lisa for the last 8 weeks now, and we truly enjoy it. Lisa produces foam mattresses, and I don't think we'd ever go back to a traditional pillow top. You can save $160 or more on your new mattress by checking out links bit.ly/HoogleBedUS and bit.ly/HoogleBedCA. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about receiving your complimentary timeout. Scraft asked, how do you feel about Jeskai Delver as a fair deck? I don't know what Jeskai Delver is. It's not really a meta deck or a popular deck that people really play consistently in the format, at least not in my experience. No, I don't focus on budget decks at all. There's a few different content producers that focus on budget decks. While we play a lot of like weird and kind of wacky things on stream, generally I reject things that have bad cards in them for the sake of being budget. Now we play a lot of decks with bad cards in them for the sake of being sweet, but just with the goal of keeping things cheap is not really what the content is about here. How do you feel about that matchup? I think you're a little bit behind against blue-white control, but it's not unwinnable. If you look at the configuration of green-black rock that I have posted on my website, I have some planeswalkers in the sideboard of that deck to help with the control decks a little bit more. But I think even without them, you have a decent shot. If you can keep their planeswalkers clear, you're usually okay. Green-white Value Town. This matchup's probably bad for us. People who refer to games like Magic as pay to win, you just usually can't get through to them. Don't waste your time. The idea of talking about things like, you know, is golf pay to win? Like, that idea is like just lost on them. Value Town is so good. Todd Stevens has registered Tron at the last 2 opens he's played. Deck's great. We regularly refer to green-white Value Town as green-white unplayables on this stream. While green-white Value Town is a deck that completely dumpsters fair decks like what I'm playing and what like Jeskai control and blue-white control because you just draw so many cards, the interaction that green-white Value Town tends to play is very slow and clunky and inefficient against a large portion of the modern field. What you're doing is just by and large not good enough to be competitive. It's just not interactive enough. Yeah, decks like Elves has a hardish time against Storm. Like these just like linear combo decks where like linear combo decks that don't care about your Tireless Tracker, you're gonna have a real hard time with. Yeah, only 4 paths is not quite enough interaction. All right, well. I'm gonna offer this trade, I think. Pretty confident I'm not blocking on the backswing, so. Thanks for checking out Honey, folks. I appreciate that. Yeah, and like, they had 2 trackers to start. I'm actually just not gonna play this matchup. It's just not fun. This is one of those. That's one of the few, like, really 90-10 matchups for this deck. And again, like, most decks in Modern, regardless of how good or bad they are, they have matchups that are going to be pretty close to unwinnable. And while we're not 0% in that matchup, we're close enough to it that it's not going to be fun. Just going to roll on off. While I enjoy a good close game of Magic, I don't enjoy just getting dumpstered by the top of their deck. Yeah, it's gonna be like 50 minutes, and at the end I'm gonna be tired and frustrated that we lost because they put a bunch of clunky cards in their deck that means they can't beat other decks in the format. So might as well just roll on and past it. Not really. Not really. They had Courser Tracker going, and I didn't have any removal in sight. I wouldn't play a Grimflayer deck. I think Grimflayer Traverse decks are pretty mediocre because they get hosed by Graveyard Hate. I keep this. I've got a discard spell on 1. They mulliganed. Kinda Cloudseer. Like, I feel like the thing a lot of people overlook with their rock, paper, scissors analogy, Brad Brown, thanks for the Twitch Prime, I appreciate it. The thing a lot of people overlook with the rock, paper, scissors analogies a lot of the time, I feel, is that you have control over the rock, paper, scissors that you're playing by and large. Like, your deck has the good decks have more good matchups and less bad matchups. Well, every deck, I think, has at least 1 or 2 matches where it struggles. Like, the people who are so focused on, well, it was just all rock, paper, scissors, like, they're playing a tier 2 or a tier 3 deck. So, like, their deck is tier 2 or tier 3 because it has more bad matchups. Like, that's what makes that deck worse than the other things in the format by and large. We could be playing some kind of Ponza. We could also be playing some kind of just like red-green aggro mid-range. I'm here to watch fun and entertaining matches. It's not fun value town matchup. Yep. I mean, from the value time side of the table, I'm sure it's a fun matchup dumpstering us. I think I just have to save this Maelstrom Pulse, right? We kept a land heavy hand and we've gotten a little bit punished here. And I agree with Ken's sentiment to a degree. I think if your only goal is winning, then I don't know that I'm a big fan of playing these mid-range style decks. If you just love casting Tarmogoyf, then this is a great deck to be playing. I think this is arguably the best Tarmogoyf deck in the format, this green-black rock archetype. But just like from a pure play-to-win standpoint, I definitely feel like these archetypes tend to come up a little bit short overall in Modern. I mean, well, have you met Ted? Jun just won an open. Yep. And honestly, that's why I really like the blue-red Delver deck. While I also don't think that's ever going to be the best deck in the format, I like that while the blue-red Delver deck is highly interactive, it also gets to be very aggressive when it needs to be and just run people out of the game. So unless they have a Bolt here, I don't really care about this. It's a shame this costs 4 on the backside now. Used to be able to Abrupt Decay these things. Kids these days and their unabrupt decayable Ravagers of the Fills. Back in my day, you could Abrupt Decay that and we liked it. It's a little unfortunate for us. Kind of punished for my sequencing there. We liked it on the Abrupt Decay side of the table, Ken. We didn't like it on the Huntmaster side of the table. That's true. The Huntmaster side of the table was very sad that the Ravager got Abrupt Decayed. If I could stack my deck and put the card I wanted on top, this would be the one. Any idea when I'll be giving Legacy another shot? I am going to play through the Legacy decks that are in my queue at some point. I genuinely don't know when. Maybe something neat will come out of the Pro Tour and it won't just be a pile of Sneak and Show and blue decks, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I probably should have fetched Overgrown Tomb with the Delta and then fetched Basic Forest with the Verdant Catacombs to prioritize green mana in the event that I drew a Scavenging Ooze. I think that was a small oversight on my part. Am I getting Inferno Titaned? Please don't Inferno Titan me, Daddy. Don't do it. Don't do it. I've been such a good boy. Don't hit me with the Titan. Don't hit me with the Titan. Don't do it. Mercy. Mercy. Ooh, super punished. Super punished for not getting a forest. Holy crap. Well. Mistakes were made, chat. Good news. Tireless Tracker is huge. Like, Xbox huge. Go. There's 2 forests in our deck, and we get to draw a lot of cards. And if I had a forest, we'd be in an absurd spot. But because I didn't get the forest, we're potentially behind now. I didn't ditch the Baloth, because I'm going to draw a forest. Not only landfall, draw a card, but like landfall, draw a card, make my dork bigger, right? I guess I'm just going all the way up on here, right? I am gonna bin this Baloth now. Ah, the double down by not understanding variance by design. That's excellent. That's my favorite reason to ban people. The old double down after not understanding how Magic works as a game. That's weird. God, we'd have won this game by so much if I'd have fetched correctly. I even mentioned that they were playing Ponza too. So. Yep, bannings are similar to timeouts. They can still watch, they just can never chat again. Some. It's a third Bloodbraid Elf. Ugh. Yep, we're gonna rightfully lose this game because I fetched wrong. I hate when there's justice on this stream. Maybe just had like double Goyf, Scooze, Baloth, and just beat them completely to death. Expertise seems absurd here. Gaze is decent. Charm's okay. Maelstrom Pulse is fine. Maximum, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Kalitas is fine as well. I think Liliana is actually pretty bad, right? Like, their hand gets empty pretty quick, and like, they have a lot of bad creatures, so edicting them is less good. Yeah, it's actually pretty clean. I think I like that. Wizard Ski Patrol, I was told there would be free timeouts. Thanks for the 2 months and welcome back. I appreciate it. That was game 1. Yep. We had a mental brain fart while fetching. They had played a bunch of cards that indicated Ponza. And I failed to fetch Basic Forest. Then we lost the game because I didn't fetch Basic Forest. Damping Sphere doesn't do anything to Utopia Sprawl. Well, I appreciate the support, Maximum. Thank you for keeping me employed here. Leon and Arbiter actually didn't get played in our set. They boarded it out, I think they said. Oh, Leon and Arbiter. Alright, what do we got, Ponza? Does Jay's Fringe Prodigy play this? Not really, BDP. There really aren't decks that are looking for more than 4 Snapcaster Mages, and that card's pretty significantly worse than Snapcaster. Poop Bears, Gator. All about the Poop Bears. No, I don't think so. I think Gaze and, what's it called, are plenty. The only reason the board got so out of hand in that last game was because I couldn't cast my spells. If I would have been able to cast Tarmogoyf and Baloth, like, I would have just outsized their creatures and killed them. Like, a lot of their creatures are really crappy. What's going on, Apprentice? Howdy, howdy. Attempting to not swear while I stream makes my content more accessible to more people. There aren't really clear-cut, easy to give tips for sideboarding. The answer is that it varies depending on a lot of factors. Man, game in certain matchups you can keep hands that are all answers and no pressure. Other hands you need to mulligan for other matches you need to mulligan for sideboard cards or specific pieces of interaction. There's a lot of details that go into it. Yeah, we're definitely running above average at the moment. Anoronics, my average is about 850. I had good numbers yesterday too. Maybe playing one of them paper magic tournaments did stiff. And it's not even just sideboarding, but it's also the mulliganing part too, right? Because like sideboarding and mulliganing kind of go hand in hand. Gosh, Courser lines up so well into Bloodbraid Elf, it's kind of absurd. Let's see if we get bolted here. Yep, tilt. I think it's just a 4/4 here, because like the Goyf is really bad in the face of Relic, right? Oh, I guess I could decay this Relic, huh? Yeah, let's do that, actually. This is summoning sick. This is pretty resource efficient. Makes my future Goyfs better draws. Pretty dead to an Inferno Titan, but that's just like most games we're dead to an Inferno Titan. Ugh, that's brutal. It's gonna devour our... It's going to devour our Goyf. And this, and like the value time matchup before it, these are just kind of like textbooks examples of like, I had been thinking about playing this archetype at an open earlier this year that I ended up not being able to go to, and just like, there's just too many decks in this format that are like popular enough that I feel pretty helpless when I play a deck like this against them. Well, I think this deck is like kind of a sweet metagame choice. Like the idea that you can like attack the modern metagame is kind of a fallacy in my opinion. There's so many fringe decks that see so much play that you like trying to metagame a tournament with 1,000 people at it, or even a couple hundred people, is just like kind of absurdity to suggest that you can do. Like, there's people coming from all over the place that are just playing whatever they want to play. So you're generally better off playing something that's just like proactive and objectively powerful rather than trying to play something that lines up well against what your opponent's doing. No, I actually think that, I don't know about this build of green-black, but the build of green-black that I have listed on my website, I actually think that deck has a good matchup against Tron, between the Fields, the Damping Spheres, and the Fulminators. Yeah, Ponza and green-white Value Town, those are decks that prey specifically on mid-range interactive decks. That's true. We are currently dominating the board on the back of our super powerful 4/4. Oh no, chat, they've added flyers to the board. I'm scared of flyers. Gosh, expertise would be absurd, huh? Guess I'll play this land. The crowd roars as you cross the finish line. Listen, sir. I saw Jund win an open this weekend. Yep. Yeah, I agree with that, Math. The people that want to just like play. Honestly, pro players shouldn't even hate modern anymore, right? Like the fact that humans exist in this format is like huge for pro players. Jund or Mardu Pyromancer? Well, Mardu Pyromancer lets you draw a bunch of cards. Actually, here's the real answer for Jund versus Mardu Pyromancer. I think Mardu Pyromancer is the better interactive deck because Mardu Pyromancer gets to play powerful lock cards. Mardu Pyromancer gets to play Blood Moon in the main, and they get to Faithless Looting them away when they're not good. And Mardu Pyromancer gets to play Ensnaring Bridge and Leyline of the Void in the board. Crack, Fetch, Kill Tracker, maybe. I don't know if I actually want to do that or not. I feel like the way they're setting up with this Tarmogoyf here, they could potentially be getting pushed into a bad attack. So I think I'd like to hang tight for a second. They also might be like trying to throw a Thopter at my Tarmogoyf here, and then I get to punish them. Sure, you can play Leyline in Jund, but Leyline is much worse in Jund than it is in Mardu Pyromancer because Faithless Looting exists, is what it comes down to. The new Mardu Pyromancer lists don't play Moon. Really? That's interesting. Let's click here. Decks. Indianapolis Open. Mardu Pyromancer. Oh, look at that. 3 copies of Blood Moon. Have a 10-minute break. If you're going to make stuff up, make sure it's not easily verifiable as false. Pro tip when lying on the internet. Make sure your lie is not easily verifiable as false. It's a good life lesson. I don't understand. Why would the internet lie to a person? What does it stand to gain? I think I'm pushing this. I'm gonna push this. And try and draw Expertise like someone suggested. Expertise is my line to win. Sure. Jerry Thompson wrote about a deck that he probably wasn't playing. People throw lots of cards in lots of decks. Like, one of the big appeals to playing Mardu is having access to cards like Blood Moon for free wins. Like one person writing about a deck for a tournament that they're not even playing in doesn't make that the new version of a deck. Yeah, Gaze could also be okay here. Gaze is like less good, although I guess this is probably gonna die anyways, right? There's some data. Two Blood Moons are in 95% of Mardu Pyromancer lists. But like, that's not what they said too. Like, the words that they said have meaning. They didn't say Jerry Thompson has stopped playing Blood Moon, so maybe you should stop playing it. They said the new Mardu Pyromancer list. But like, those aren't the lists people are actually playing. I would like to block with my 3/4. When does my article go up? My article will be published tomorrow, I believe. I mean, we're not losing, and like I'm holding these lands because like what, we have 3 trackers in our deck, 4 trackers in our deck. Like if we draw a tracker, we could be in an okay spot this game. Depends on like, hopefully they just keep drawing like Arbor Elves and Utopia Sprawls and stuff. That's kind of annoying, I guess. Pretty confident I just want to take this off the table because this gives them a lot more dead draws. Also cranks Tarmogoyf up to a 4/5. Emrakul is definitely castable for them right now. That is the truth. Okay, second mom and pop. This gives them a way to pressure us in the air. We're pretty far off of dying to them though, so. And this is kind of like a good example of like what would have happened last game if I would have like played around Blood Moon. Like our creatures are just like bigger than anything they can deploy, so we're just gonna get to gum the board up and then eventually overpower them once we find the right cards. Are they throwing 2 Thopters at my Goyf? Deal. I feel like that's still good for us, right? Like this gets rid of their clock in the air, but I guess the clock is just I don't know. I still have this 4/4 opponent, so like you do you, I guess. I feel like this is a good trade for us. Tireless Tracker. Woo! 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 Oh lordy! Lordy! Woo! Woo! We finally drew a spell, chat. We finally drew a spell. And you get a spell. Remember that time they killed our Tarmogoyf? Come at me, goblins. Come at me. Oh, that's so weird. Every piece of removal is absurd from here on out. I have a -8 turn clock. Stop it. All right, hit another mana card. You did miss 3-color zombies. We started with it this morning, Death Eater. Scooze is pretty good. Yeah, Scooze is going to be a big one. Really need a piece of spot removal now. That's an Inquisition of Kozilek. Push, Decay, Pulse. God, Yahenni's expertise is just like game ending. Yahenni's has been game ending for a while. Ooh. Unfortunately, they're going to eat all the candy before our Scooze gets here. What are you even doing with your life? It was all right, Death Eater. I think I have some good feedback at the end. I think you're a little bit light on ways to compete with some of the more linear decks in the format. Yep. Come on. Give me expertise. Give me expertise. All right, I'm gonna prompt a Scavenging Ooze fight at the end of turn here, I think. Gain my 3 life. Gaze of Granite is also game winning. So they have 3. What does this make green? Those are both making red. So they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. You ooze, you lose, chat. You ooze, you lose. This little Scooze went nom nom, nom nom, nom nom. This little Scooze went nom nom, gobble gobble gobble. Do 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 do. Alright, so they've got 3 Scooze activations, which means we're going to win the Scooze off here. Good old-fashioned Scooze off, chat. They won the Scooze off last turn. We're going to win the Scooze off this turn. My Scavenging Ooze brings all the creatures from the yard. And they're like, do you want some health? Alright, so Scooze gonna be a 5/5. God bless us, everyone. I love playing the Wizard deck. That's why I played it at the Open. The deck is just a total gas to play. Instant speed decks are absurd. They're so much fun in my opinion. Alright, gonna smash. Got my Scavenging Ooze and I'm ready to plow. Deal. Zombie, 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 hey, hey. Gosh, I think we're at a point where we can even beat Inferno Titan here, huh? I will take my 3 free health. Yeah, there's no way they can ever take like a 7/8 Kalitas out. I changed its name to Blue-Red Tempo on my website. I think that's like the most accurate descriptor. Yeah, for those of you who are unaware, this card has more text as well. This is a concession Kalitas activation. All right. Well, if I hadn't punted game 1, we'd be up 2-0, right? We'd have 2-0'd this. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. Gosh, do I want this Damnation in my deck? It's you are Hogwarts. These discard spells kind of suck, huh? Just cut one of those. Yeah, Sand seems fine. So, I'm gonna be really sad when we Inquisition into double Blood Moon here, but other than that, we're in a good spot. Alright, it's pretty good. Glad I have this Damnation, though. And get the Goblin Babble Master going on. They'd rather Rebel Master here, right? Playing Baloth out over Rebel Master seems weird. I feel like you'd want to get more tokens into play ASAP. Yeah, that makes sense. Sequencing seems good. Like, just because they have 4 mana doesn't mean they should use it. Like, they're probably going to have, like, copious amounts of extra mana this game. So, I need to Abrupt Decay this, because I think if I just let this go, I'm going to take too much damage from it. Mox Jewelry with the $5 tip. I don't know if you remember, but thanks for signing my Charbel Trinity. 6-3 in the Classic with Horizon Cannon. That's awesome. Congrats. I think I'm going to be adding that one to the meme section of my deck list page. I think the Horizon Cannon deck's really sweet. But I play Mardu or Hellboy? Probably Mardu, because I enjoy the gameplay a little bit more. And I think if you're playing Ensnaring Bridge and Leyline, Mardu's a pretty reasonable deck. You just want to, like, max out on your free wins. And now, I even get to go ahead and play this Field of Ruin out to fetch a basic forest in case they rip a Blood Moon. Yeah, I definitely don't have the mental, like... emotional roller coaster is a great way to describe Hollowed One, in my opinion. It's definitely an apt description. I'm going to field them in response to this, so they don't get a land. If you enjoy the roller coaster, more power to you. Enjoy it. Hopefully the last card's like a Scavenging Ooze and not a land. Alright, chat. We need a threat, but other than that, we're in an okay spot. Bye, friends! That's what we always tell Declan and Jake to say when we're, like, leaving somewhere where they were playing with other kids. Say, bye, friends! Gotta use your words. Gotta tell me why you feel that way. Do I want to Thoughtseize them here? Is this a bad Thoughtseize? What could they have played that they wouldn't have played? I guess they could have another card the turn they played the Tireless Tracker. They didn't play a land. They could have something here. All right, we gained 1. They could have a Titan, yeah. I think we're pushing this Bloodbraid Elf this turn. Grab another green here. If they play like a 2 or a 3 drop, I'll probably gaze them just to cut them off their mana. Definitely rather just slam a threat here. I'm going to hold this land because we have Tireless Trackers in our deck. It's a little brutal. And now because I waited, if I draw an untapped land, I can't gaze that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Although I guess, oh, they didn't pop the relic in response, so I get to do this. I play Waste Not Storm, maybe? Do we have Waste Not Storm in the queue? I feel like I might actually. We don't. Maybe someone had sent me a list to look at. I don't remember. Rude. What's going on, Hat Crab? Ugh. That's a little brutal. Thanks, Hat Crab. All right, so even with the relic here, we get to grow the Skoos by 2, right? Oh, I guess they can relic themselves and then pay 1 to pop it. A land would clean this board up very nicely. An untapped land. Untapped land specifically. Okay, so opponent missequenced here. They should have tapped the relic first and not just popped it, because now I get a 4/4. Which lets me eat this Bloodbraid Elf. And now if I can draw a piece of spot removal, I get to clean this up. Oh, you so fair, Tasigur. You just like the most fair card I could draw. Alright. Don't Titan me. I wonder if they have Titans in their deck. They would have fetched first, right? Alright, down to 8. Why did I say those words, chat? Why did I say the words? They're probably not even playing Inferno Titan. Why would I let those words fall out of my mouth, chat? Why would I let those words fall out of my mouth? We're not dead on board. I can gain 2. I think activating Tasigur is wrong. I think it's just a just Tasigur ship. They're gonna chump. Yeah, I think that's a good chump there. Yep. Amazon Fun Money. Articon, thank you very much for the 2-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. All right. Some days you're the pigeon, other days you're the statue. And remember, like, Balasar, thank you for the Twitch Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome. It is very easy in matches like this that were really long to focus on the fact that, like, our opponent curved elf into titan into elf, and, like, just feel like we just hit nothing and they hit everything. But at the same time, it's really important to remember that I lost the first game of this match because I lost the first game of this match because I didn't fetch correctly. Like, I wouldn't even be playing a third game this match if I would have fetched correctly. We are exactly dead. We can only gain 2 here. There's no reason to take them off their mana that turn. Gaze of Granite threatens to answer an actual threat. Yeah, I'm leaving for Gen Con tomorrow afternoon. There are a lot of choices in both those games, but definitely everything kind of came down to that turn. I fetched incorrectly. No, there's nothing Tasigur can hit. There's no cast downs in this deck. If I gaze for just the goblin token, I can't force a block. They can just let the Chandra die. I'm going to play the last match because I did concede to Green-White Value Town without playing it. Yeah, and like the cards we'd seen out of the opponent was just like they had played so many cards that like were in the 3 and 4 range that like something like Inferno Titan wasn't really on my mind. Like we'd seen so many mid-range gummy cards out of them that like I don't think it was unreasonable to like assume that they could possibly not be going as big as Titan. Like it's really easy to look back and go, well, you lost to the 6 mana card and they never drew another land, so obviously you should have like nuked the Utopia Sprawls with the Gaze of Granite, but I don't think it's as simple as that. I think implying that that was the only thing that mattered and that was obvious, I think that's wrong. I think based on the information that I had, that's not correct. Alright, Spirits. See how this goes. And the real mistake was saying out loud they probably don't have Titan. You're not wrong. I think I'm happy with how I played that third game, but the first game we would have won by a landslide if I would have fetched correctly. Would not have been close if I would have been able to play my Tarmogoyfs and my Baloth out. This is the #1 primo mistake that everybody makes when playing against flash decks. Play more spells on your turn. This is an instant, yes. That doesn't mean I need to wait till my opponent's turn to play it. Just cast your spells, make sure they resolve, keep their board clear. I am giving my opponent the ability to ship Mutavault into Liliana. I'm fine with that. That means Tireless Tracker is going to stick, and I'm going to be super happy about it. Do I want to stick Tracker or do I want to stick Kalitas? I probably want to stick Tracker. I'm probably going to care about card advantage this game. Might be almost time to kick Moto. What are we looking at? 2.4 gigabytes of RAM. Yep, probably want to give it a little love tap after this one. I didn't plus the Liliana because they're going to attack her anyways. I like the cards in my hand. Now the real question becomes, do I want to play into a potential Spell Queller here? I'm not sure that I do, honestly. I kind of just want to like pass and like crack a clue plus play Abrupt Decay on their turn. Like, if they activate Moorland Haunt at my end step, I'll just, like, decay the Selfless Spirit in response. Just, like, I have a threat in play, so long as I, like, keep more pressure on my side of the board than they have, I'll be fine. I think I just want to prioritize getting my clues out to Fizzy. It's a big thing. Like, that definitely, I think, that's the biggest thing new players struggle with when playing flash-based decks or playing against flash-based decks, is like the idea that you don't have to play your instance as instance is something that takes them a little while to get used to. Is it the captain? I think it's the Phantasmal Image, because Phantasmal Image is basically just cheaper captain, right? Since they already have one in play. And I think I crack this looking for an answer. And then when I miss, I slam Tarmogoyf and try and race. Because, like, they're going to 12 here, and I've got 10, potentially 12 power in play. So. And this is, like, a great example of, like, why Tireless Tracker puts, you know, Dark Confidant to shame. Like, Dark Confidant just kills us. Like, Tireless Tracker buries them. I think the Blue-Red Wizards deck is very good. I think I played well with it, but I also think the deck is just very good. So they're forced to block here, right? Because otherwise I kill them. I get to play Liliana and Edict them. I get to play Scavenging Ooze and gobble up 2 of the things in their bin. I'm doing this now because I don't want to get Moorland Haunted in response. This is a concession lockup. Yeah. All right, look at that. You have some friends to bring in. Another friend. So many friends, chat. Look at all of our wonderful friends. This probably isn't a Courser matchup, right? It doesn't block. The health gaining is kind of mediocre. We're not really here to jam that much. I don't think I want Collective Brutality here. Sorcery Speed Removal's kind of medium. Tasigur's fine. Tasigur costs 1 mana, and he doesn't get Spell Quellered, which is really nice. Courser was okay. I don't know if I'd play it again, but it was okay. The Baloths were fine, but I don't think they're better than the main deck Collective Brutalities. The Charm's okay. Maybe the Charm's worse than the Thoughtseize just for breaking up their curve. I can see that. I think certain people have unique talent for seeing a certain line of plays that make them better players. Do you think that everybody who practices Magic enough can become both? I think Magic is just like most things in life. I think talent is a learned skill. I think there are definitely people who are more... That was an absurd draw. There are definitely people who are more naturally inclined to being good at particular things. But those people still need to work to master those things. So... And people who are less naturally talented can put in the work to become better at those things as well. All right, so they have a Rattle Chains. Let's see what else they have. They don't have a Rattle Chains. They have a Drog Skull Captain and Spell Quellers. Huh. I was going to take their Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Miss, 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 miss. Yay, that's probably the death knell. That's probably a death knell. I mean, I don't know. Proved is a strong word, but, you know, practice definitely doesn't hurt. Hey, Borange M, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. I know there's a lot of people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Welcome, welcome. I would love Rampant Growth to resolve. Thank you. So they're almost certainly going to path this Scavenging Ooze, right? So I should play this out first. I did win the IRL Streamer Showdown this weekend. I beat both Davis and Caleb at various points in the tournament. Caleb Shear, sorry, not Durward. Durward wasn't at the tournament. Caleb, there's two streamers that stream with some consistency of Caleb Shear, for reference. I think the opponent conceded. I think they conceded while they were picking with the image. So black-green. The coursers were kind of neat. I think in the right... Like, if I knew my local game store was going to have a bunch of Hollowed One or decks where Baloth was really good, main deck Baloth could be okay. That being said, I think in the generic field, I think this is probably better. It makes the curve a little bit more appealing too. Honestly, I would probably do this. Like, look at just 10, 12, 12, and then one more extra piece at the top end here. So... I think Courser is probably worth exploring in this deck. You're kind of in the market for more card advantage. It buffers your health total. It's good with Tireless Tracker. It's good with Tarmogoyf. So I think I would probably... I think these 75 cards are okay. Actually, that's a lie. I really hate Graveyard Hate in this deck. I think 4 pieces is definitely too many. Like, this archetype has so many cards for, like, beating a deck like Storm, especially with Damping Sphere, too, that I feel like this is just too many cards. I think this build probably has too many, not enough cards for like the Hallowed Fountain decks in the format, like Jeskai Control and Blue-White Control. And I think I would probably try and pivot that a little bit by adding like some Fulminator Mages to the sideboard, perhaps. Like for instance, if you wanted to keep the Graveyard Hate, maybe keep like 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate and like turn these cards into Fulminator Mages, because Fulminator Mage is a card that's like decent against Tron, but it's also like decent against the control decks as well. Yeah, I think 2 to 3 Fulminators should be pretty stock in the green-black board. I think I had 3 in my latest list. All right, let's kick Magic Online real